Hey there, welcome to LSAT Demon Daily. I'm Nathan Fox. That's Ben Olson. We're the founders of LSATdemon.com and our weekly podcast, Thinking LSAT. We have an ask button question about a necessary assumption question on a reading comprehension passage. This is not a free test. This is not one of the tests that we can discuss the details of on the air, but the listener says, I didn't pick the correct answer because it is almost directly stated in the first paragraph. Going forward for other passages, can assumptions that are, quote, inferred be stated in the passage?
Let me read a variant of the question that's on the test itself. So the question is essentially asking, it can be inferred from the passage that the author assumes which one of the following in his defense? Question mark.
Yeah, or in his argument or whatever, right? Or not even in anything, right? It can be inferred from the passage that so-and-so assumes which one of the following.
Yeah.
And we don't need to talk about the actual details of the underlying subject matter here. It's just that question stem. It can be inferred from the passage that the author assumes which one of these.
Yep. And so what are you doing? You're looking at the passage to figure out what the author is assuming. All this is really asking is which one of the following is something that the author is assuming. And so I don't think it's a special inferred from question. You're always doing that when you're answering questions. You're inferring from the information provided something that follows from that information. So
the important part there is from the passage, not inferred, from the passage. It's an evidence-based question type. I mean, reading comprehension is almost all must be trues. This one in particular turns out to be a necessary assumption question on a reading comprehension passage, which is pretty rare that they do that. You can just treat it like a must be true. I mean, I don't think I would even see that as anything other than a must be true.
Yeah.
You know, this particular question, it can be inferred from the passage that X assumes which one of the following in his defense of Y.
Yeah.
And I would go, oh, so you want me to know what Dahl must agree with from the passage. And that word inferred there just doesn't even do jack shit. It's not, people are like, well, I can't pick. And that's what this correspondent is saying is I can't pick that because it said it explicitly.
Yeah.
But for me, it wouldn't even have registered. It would have just been like, no, you're asking me which one this author must agree with. Well, if it said it in the passage, then that's what the author must agree with. And I'm not going to make it so that inferred does not have to be unsaid.
That's right. And you know what's funny here too is this correspondent says, I didn't pick the correct answer because it is almost directly stated. Okay, so it wasn't, even in this example, it wasn't apparently directly stated. So why are you wondering whether you can pick assumptions that are explicitly stated in the passage anyway? Like it's not like it even happened here. Not that it matters. I mean, you're just going to ask yourself, does this have to be assumed? Does the author have to agree with this? That's all you should focus on.
Yeah.
But I just think it's kind of funny because it's like, oh, can I extrapolate something from this that didn't even happen here?
Yeah, right. And ultimately, it's going to be, do you have evidence to prove this or not? Right.
Yeah.
The answer is legally defensible based on the record. So if the record says it explicitly, I got to pick that. How can I not pick that? I know for sure that this person says this. Now, I think there are one or two questions that say something like which one of the following was explicitly stated or which one of the following was like it was explicitly in passage A, but it wasn't in passage B.
Sure.
And in that case, they're asking you, they're using the word explicit and talking about the contrast of explicit. Well, then, okay, I need to know, that's going to mean exactly what it says. But when they say inferred on the LSAT, I just looked up the definition here. Deduce or conclude from evidence and reasoning. Then it says rather than from explicit statements. Well, okay, but it said deduce from evidence, I think we can just stop there and say inferred on the law school admission test means deduce from evidence. And if it says it explicitly, you can go ahead and make that conclusion because that's what they said.
Well, and that's how the test uses that term over and over and over again in must be true questions. So yeah, this correspondent
Inferred from the passage. I think we might have touched on this at some point in the past. It seems like a real lawyer cover your ass way of putting the question, right? Because sometimes they used to say there used to be a lot of hard must be true questions. Which one must be true based on the passage? And now we see a variant of that question stem, which is which one of the following can be properly inferred, or which one of the following can be inferred from the passage?
Yeah.
Oh, well, we got a little wiggle room there. So if it didn't say exactly the same words in exactly the same order, right? We used a synonym, we rearranged it a little bit. It has the same meaning, but they didn't say it explicitly. Which one can be inferred from the passage rather than, which one
must be true,
or did it say?
Yeah.
You got to remember that on the reading comprehension, they are testing your ability to read. They're not testing anything else. They're testing whether you are comprehending what you're reading. And so you can just go ahead and assume that every question on LSAT reading comp is just what did it say in the passage?
Yep.
There might be a strengthen or a weaken question thrown in there, but when they try to throw in a necessary assumption like this, what did it say in the passage? That's what they want to know.
Yeah.
Cool.
Yeah. Email daily@lsatdemon.com if you'd like to ask us a question or share some LSAT or law school admissions news. Thanks for listening.